Voila.
What's happening?
Not much. What's happening?
Just over here 3D printing, man. So I got it sealed up as tight as I can. It's making a lot of racket. So if it's too much, I can go move for a half hour.
I can't hear it, but that doesn't mean much.
That's good. I think I'm like 27 hours.
What are you making?
I got 25 minutes to go, I think, to get this first part of this print done.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, the kind of the special project.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see how it comes out, you know. Never know.
Absolutely. I unpacked the car, but I haven't done much since.
Yeah.
No, just survive and get back into it. Beat Up from the Creek Up is the name of this show tonight.
Beat up from the creek up. You got it.
It's almost like I should be in marketing or something.
You should be.
I come up with like interesting names, I suppose.
You're a songwriter, man, right? So
I mean, a word man better than a bird man. I am the Lizard King. I can do anything. I suppose, or so I've been told. Yeah, man. I am. The funny thing is, I was telling my wife today, I was like, man, I really can't wait to get out and go crawling. And I just spent the weekend doing it. Like I didn't get enough.
I'm ready to go. Mother's Day is Sunday, right? So
I know that's got me kind of wrapped up, I think.
Yeah, same here.
So my only opportunity is like kind of Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that now, and I want you guys to all mark my words because they'll undoubtedly make plans for opposite of the time I say I'm available, like they always do.
I can tell you that you and Kirk can do whatever you want without me this weekend because Saturday I'm going to do an acid wash on the pontoons of my tri-tune. And then Bree and I
are a weekday deal.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Work gets in the way, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that Saturday, and then her and I are gonna dump the boat in. Everybody and their brother out here on the water's been asking me, "Did you sell your boat? What happened? Why isn't your boat in?" I'm like, because it's 45 degrees outside. That's why.
Yeah, and and maybe I have other things going on.
And maybe I want to go crawling and do things with my buddies that I actually want to hang out with. I don't know. Did I just say that live on air? Yeah. But yeah, so Saturday is going to be acid wash on the tunes and dump that in. And so that'll consume probably the majority of my day.
Beat the Creek was epic. That was my first time. And I brought way more rigs than I ended up running. But I had a blast, absolute blast. And I was in a hurry to get out of town Friday. I forgot all my camera stuff. So I didn't film a stitch. Not a stitch. I make a cameo in a lot of people's videos. You got to look hard to find me, but I'm in the back of RC Driver. I'm in the back of maybe Hemi Storm. I'm in the back of Redline Designs. I'm in the back of Horizon. I started in on the optic run, and that line just was not moving at all. And I was like, no. So that's when I ran with the Helamons.
Yeah. Kirk and I got behind Harley and his group of optics on Friday afternoon.
On Friday?
Yeah, and it was like, we both had, I had the Vertex 6 with the IJ body on it, and Kirk had his IJ body on his 6. And it's like, we're just standing there like, do. It's like, we almost want to just cut off and go through the woods.
Seriously.
If we knew it better, we would have done that because, that's what we do, right? When we go out crawling, we get off the path and go get stupid in the deep brush. And
well, that first trail, the phone service is a little bit garbage. So when I got there Friday, I could not find you guys. Phones weren't working. And so I'm like, after I ran the trimmer's truck, the big dog here through Vendor Row, which there's a lot of kissing babies and, photo ops with that one. But, and I started going on a trail. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it looked like it was an SCX trail. I think it was 1.
Yep.
But then depending on what you do, you end up on 10 and in the creek. So my very first trail was the big trimmer's truck beating the creek. And it came out in one piece, bro.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic. It's got a little more going on now, having been through the creek, than it had before, but I don't care. I build these things to drive,
Yep. Absolutely.
And you missed the show and shine, but there's a lot of rigs in show and shine that are fantastic, but you just know no one's driving them.
Yeah.
And some of them they are, and some of them they aren't. And it's fine. Do what, to each their own 100%.
There's nothing wrong with having a shelf queen,
No, there isn't. But I want to run them. And I was telling people that I was talking to, I was like, hey, I would say I speak for our group. Like, we're really want to make them look good, but we also want to run them. And, when people saw that big trimmer's truck, they instantly started talking about the Blazer last year. And I was like, yeah, that's my buddy's Blazer he made for my other buddy. So that was fun, dude. I had guys showing me pictures, once this opened up the conversation on 6-scale rigs, I had guys talking to me about stuff they'd seen on the internet and showing me pictures. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's mine. That's Kelly's. That's Kirk's.
Yep.
It was awesome.
There wasn't a whole lot of custom, 6 bodies that I saw out there.
Did see some IJs, not a lot, but I guarantee they were all on 6s only, except yours. Yeah.
Well, it was kind of funny because, when Kirk and I got there on Friday, we decided, oh, you know what, you're going to run this, I'm going to run that. And I took the blue Verdict 6 body out. And it was comical because the first 2 guys I came across, they had their stock Verdict 6s parked there, and I just pulled the IJ Verdict 6 right up, parked right next to them. I'm like, is this Verdict 6 parking? And they're like, yeah. What do you? That's a SCX6. I'm like, no, it's not. And I pulled the pin and took the body off, and they're like, oh. So, every chance I got, man, I would pull up to a group of guys with Verdict 6s with stock bodies on, be like, is this Verdict's parking only?
I would have done the same thing. How can you not, man? I had the most fun with the 3D printed rigs just because the conversations it would start.
Dude, and
I ran Lexan once.
You ran Lexan once?
I ran the CJ7 through the creek with the Rock Tex on it, with a stock SR5 Toyota, Axial that Pete was driving, and then a built out SR5 that RC Driver was driving. He had the blue one he painted himself.
Did you drive that?
I drove my CJ.
No, but did you drive his build up SR5?
No, I didn't. Nah, we didn't trade controllers or nothing. But the CJ7 beat the creek as well, with the big Treps Rock Tech system and 3D printed interior.
I'll be honest with you, watching the guys when we got there, we obviously went on trail 1 and then it splits, and then we wound up on 10 and coming up at 10, coming up along the driveway in the creek.
Yes.
And I was impressed with how the 10 scales were actually maneuvering better than our big 6s on a lot of it, just because of the way it was all, just the formations of everything.
It was really fun, man. It's so fun. And so many people running the trails. you could, if you paid attention to the rocks, you could tell where folks were hanging up because of the marks on the rocks.
You go the opposite way.
And I joked, TJ and Pete, I was like, I pretended I was some nature show that discovered a civilization years ago that used to run these toy trucks in creeks. And we know this from the scratches on the rocks that this was a 10 III that hung up on the diff and this and that. It was a riot, dude.
Nice.
But I was on that trail that first night. I was on that trail 1, and then there was a handful of guys with 10 scale on 10. And so I just cut the trail right there because they were very close to each other. I cut the trail. I was like, dude, you don't care if I run with you, do you? And they were glad to have me, you know. They got a kick out of watching that big rig. And but I was jamming. They couldn't keep up. Dark was coming on, and I was getting through it pretty. I wasn't trying to be fast, but I was trying to get done so I could get out and hopefully run into y'all. And by the time I got out of the woods, it was dark. You guys had already split, and I finally caught up and got lucky to find Pete and TJ at a campfire at a campsite or whatever, parking spot.
Nice.
And then I was with those dudes the rest of the time. It was awesome.
Dude, Pete and TJ are a hoot to hang out with, man. You know, I mean,
we kind of base, you know, we were basically, I should have got vendor parking or something, but I wasn't worried about it. I didn't need it, but we were base camping behind the Axial booth because that's where their rigs and cars were.
Yep.
And so I'd drive over a couple, carry one, drive one, and come over and have somewhere to park in the shade and kind of just try to base camp out of Vendor Row a little bit. The Axial booth is right next to Reefs, and met a ton of great folks there, man. Ton.
Yeah, man. It was definitely the crowd was a pleaser, you know, to be able to walk around, and especially for you with, you know, I really wanted to run the dog truck in the Blazer, and
I was so bummed Saturday morning that you guys had left.
I got a phone call and I had to go.
Had to go because it was the only reason I did Show and Shine is because guys saw the truck Friday and were like, dude, you got to put that in Show and Shine. I'm like, okay.
Your Tremors truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I put the Tremors truck and the Corvair in Show and Shine. And I made the mistake of parking the Corvair next to the Tremors truck. So I don't think it got noticed much at all. But man, it was an absolute blast, dude. And yeah, there a lot of people took some pictures of that Tremors rig, dude. And if you were in there I was the only SCX6 in the Show and Shine.
I was planning on putting my gig was going to be Saturday morning, bringing out the dog truck. TJ wanted to get some video of that jumping. We were going to beat the snot out of it, and then I was going to put that in Show and Shine, just because everybody knows it. I mean, people were coming up to me and we were talking about stuff, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much just really, you know, focus on doing SCX6 bodies, you know, printed bodies. And
you would have had a blast because you're standing back, like all the trucks are parked there on the concourse, and you're just standing back, kind of waiting, you know, with everybody, and you're just shooting the breeze. And somebody'd always be like, man, look at that or whatever. And I'd let them talk for a minute. And then I'd say, yeah, that's mine, dude. You'd have had the same thing, man. It was killer. And there's so much creativity going on there at a show like that. There's so many cool rigs.
Yep.
At a show like that. And
all walks
of some fantastic people. And I put some faces to names. I put some faces to social media channels I've been seeing and following for a while. Like met the Addies RC guy and him and his buddy, his buddy's Jersey Scaler, who did the Porigen files and the new Toyota 82R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think he took a picture to show his buddy because there was only a couple Toyotas 82R on the optic at the show. I think I only saw 2 or 3. 2 for sure. Because those files only came out last week.
I mean, it was a week ago, last Wednesday night. You bought the files and started printing them Wednesday night.
I think I looked earlier Wednesday and they weren't. I think they went on Wednesday because I looked one time, I couldn't find them. And then I looked again and there they were.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I had the R in the wrong place. I was like R82 instead of 82R, I think.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I ran this up against the so after I ran the Corvair with my favorite scrubbed down Patagonias and Trial tires, I was like, I never had done anything to the optic yet as far as any kind of brass. So I threw those same Corvair tires, the scrubbed Pats and the heavy Trials on the 82R optic. And I still have all the mud on it and everything. And bro, those scrubbed Pats were fantastic on the Corvair, and they were dynamite on the optic.
Nice.
Absolutely dynamite. And those 4.55 Mickeys I was talking about, clandestine style. I ordered those yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they're on the site now live.
Yeah, the XSs or whatever they are.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there was like I jumped in to do the optic run. There was like 70 dudes, 60 some people.
Yeah.
And that line was not, it was Sunday. I'm like, it was already an hour trail. But the nice thing would have been I would have got to do the barn at the end of it. But we were at the trailhead for 10 or 15 minutes. Me and just, you know, when you're standing in line not going anywhere, you get to chatting. So
yep.
It wasn't moving, so we just bailed. And then that's when I caught up with the boys. And I'm so glad I brought that Guillemot back to Pete because him and TJ both got to run Guillemons.
That's cool.
And I ran this, and sometimes I had the camera on this, like a 360 camera.
Oh, so yeah.
Someday down the road, I mean, I'm a part of some efforts, but I just didn't bring my own cameras. But dude, I had that 360 camera mounted to this, and I'd have one in front of me and one behind, and we went up over that sign that way.
So TJ's 360 worked after I did the barrel roll with that, and it was he put that in my white SCX6 IJ body Friday night. We were going up Trail 9, in the creek, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "Are your seatbelts like?" You know, are they got a little elasticity to them? I'm like, for what? And he's like, I want to put my 360 in there. I'm like, it'll probably fit. So he snuck it in there and it was tight. And then I did the barrel roll with that and it went flying.
That was crazy.
I think he's going to put some video out of the 360 with the barrel roll. I told him, I was like, dude, you think that was good? Wait till I get the Cuban 8 going. You ever seen one of these do a Cuban 8? We're going to roll it out. But
when they were showing me back that clip, Pete was like, told TJ, show Ryan Kelly's truck doing the split S.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. It flipped over, rolled, and then I was like, perfect, right back on his wheels.
There were so many good trucks there. I did not get a sticker. You know, I did not win anything. I don't know what they were doing. I guess multiple categories. And I didn't know where to put them. You know, I asked a guy, I was like, where should I put these? So there's like a scale category. There's a unique category, whatever. There should be an actually drive it category and maybe a 3D print body category would be kind of fun.
They should have a 3D print category because it's getting to be so popular now that really should be there because, you know, getting rid of the print lines and making, you know, you want things to look really good or glossy or an IJ that just printed out whatever color you want, slap it together and run it. You know, just it's all walks of life with the 3D printing.
You know, a lot of people would figure out it was 3D printed right away, but they assumed I had a monster, like a huge printer. And I would make sure I told them, I was like, no, man, that's like 10 or 12 pieces.
Yeah.
Which means anyone can do it.
Yep, absolutely.
Anybody that's got one can,
Yep.
you know, and it was cool to see guys looking and peeking around. They were trying
Oh
to
yeah.
find glue joints and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like, go ahead, check it out.
Good luck with that.
It's not there.
Good luck with that.
I was going to do a quick hey to everybody. Mr. Ramsey, hello. These flopping lips, welcome in. And married to an RC addict. What's happening? Chris Basinger in the house. What's up? Dirty Thirds, good to see you.
Kirk's in the house.
Vabe Froman, what's up? Kirk, Keith, man, awesome. You got the SVR. Awesome.
Right. No, they left Saturday morning, man. Kelly had to get out of town.
Yep.
RC, what's happening?
What's going on, everybody?
I had arrangements already there was space for me. So I was at an Airbnb with Pete and TJ, which was fantastic.
Chris, did you offload any K5s? Nope. And it's fun. I got a story for that. So it was in the back of Kirk's pickup truck, along with like 15 other things. And this guy come walking by. There was two dudes walking with like 110 scale trucks, and they just stop in their tracks. And I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, that is a nice body. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks, man. And I'm like, which one are you talking about? And he's like, that K5. And I'm like, it's for sale. It's for an SCX6. And he's like, you know what? If I had an SCX6, you and I would be talking numbers right now. But I didn't pull it out and run it. I didn't have time. And if I would have, I probably would have offloaded it.
Oh yeah. Pete parked the K5 he has on the table at the booth for a little while.
Oh, did he?
And he had to pull it down eventually so he wouldn't be tied to the booth. I brought my Scout. I didn't run it, but I was parked where I was parked at in day parking, which I didn't. Once I arrived Friday, I never moved the car till Sunday. But I was right up close to. You had to walk past me basically to get to the lot. And so whenever I was in the car, I got the back opened up, and you couldn't miss, what I had in there. I had the trimmers, right. Scout looking right at you.
Yep.
And yeah. It was nice to see the appreciation for the work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's funny with few people that I did talk to around vendor row when I was driving the Vertex around, and we just started making conversation with people, and I'm like, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, yeah, I like doing the SCX6 3D printed bodies and stuff. And, they're like, yeah, man, somebody did a dog truck. And I'm like, oh, the Dumb and Dumber Mutt Cuts wagon? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it was me. They're like, what? Do you have it here? I said, yeah, it's with me. I'm planning on driving it tomorrow. And then that went south. But yeah.
Dude, everybody would have took pictures of it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
My truck is way more obscure than that. And there's still a handful of picture taken. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. When you got something unique like that, you got a one of a kind right there with that Tremors truck. Period.
Same with the Mutt Cuts, dude. I mean, it's bonkers.
Yeah. So it's nice, like you said, the appreciation value of it, because we do put a lot of time and effort into these things, and to know that people notice this stuff, it's like, all right, cool, that's awesome. Hard work pays off.
All crawling, and people definitely did have some speed in some of their rigs, but all crawling.
I saw a few rock bouncers running around over there.
Yeah,
which those Trail 9. Dude, that would be a rock bouncing paradise up there. That would be a great place to do that with one of them.
So now that I've been, I'm like, I have a better idea of what to expect now. I did a pretty okay job of bringing a little bit of everything. I ran my little 419 Leafer with the TF2s that travel all, the little one. But if next time I'm bringing my TF2 though, I'll run that FJ55.
Yeah.
Because the trail's not ridiculous because they know they're running little tired leafer, right? So dude, any of my leafers could have done that. The bread truck could have done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had my FJ40 with me, this guy.
Yeah, I saw a few.
I thought, you know what, maybe I could run that in the barn. But then Pete told me what he was witnessing in the barn. He was like, yeah, you want to take Lexan. You want to run Lexan. And I'm like, glad I didn't go to the barn with that, because it probably would have fell off and gotten destroyed.
Yeah, I think there was definitely carnage in the barn. I never made it to the barn.
That's a good name for it, the Carnage Barn.
The Carnage Barn, the Barnage. But yeah, dude, I mean, everything was 3D printed that I ran except that CJ. I ran the bread truck, the Corvair, the Optic, the Travelall, trimmer's truck, and the CJ.
Now since, I've witnessed it for the first time, Pete and I were talking about the Blazer, and Pete's like, yeah, he goes, when we were on Trail 9, he's like, this is the trail that I broke the Blazer. I'm like, you had the Blazer? You had your Blazer on this trail? And he's like, uh-huh. I'm like, dude, you're nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't imagine my Scout on any of the creek trails. And it was ambitious to take the trimmer's truck on it, know. But now that I know what I know, like if I had my Ford 250, I'd have ran that on those all day.
Oh, and yeah.
If I guarantee I have something ready for the creek on a 6 next year.
Yep. I'll tell you, I was shocked. I was shocked, brother, that I didn't break something on that IJ body when I rolled that thing like I did.
I bet those things were fantastic in the creek.
Oh, they were. The Vertex with the IJ on it was a blast.
Probably no sweat for most of it.
Pretty much. There was a few spots though that Kirk was able to get through quicker and easier. I took the exact same line. There was times with having the extra weight on the SCX6 chassis was a big benefit for him versus the lighter Vertex. The Vertex, there was some of it that I struggled with.
One thing that's interesting out of many about the creeks is there is a little bit of water, right? Not a lot. Sometimes there was last year. I guess it was a torrent, but not a lot of water, but some. And so you'd want to put your tire somewhere and it slide and get you in a bad spot where.
And then it would pinch.
It either pinch or you got to back up and regroup, whatever, some of that. But I'm telling you, scrubbing tires, the Patagonia tires scrubbed down was so good.
The best thing that could have happened to me was because the Vertex, I just bought those Mickeys to put on that, and they were brand new.
Yeah.
And I was thankful for the mud.
Yep.
To get on those things because they turned into, sticky tires, and it helped a lot.
Dirt, there must be some clay in it or something, but it was very good traction on any of the dirt.
It was almost like Pottery Barn to me. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like you were like sitting down making a vase with it. It was slippery, it was slimy, and it stuck.
What's that movie with Patrick Swayze, bro?
Ghost?
Yeah.
Is it Ghost? Yeah, Ghost. What's up, Terry? Welcome in, man. Good to see you.
What a good time, man. What a good time. I think that's why I want to go out so bad this weekend, is because I'm so mad I forgot my camera stuff, dude. I really am. I mean, I was okay with it, at the time, but I knew I'd regret it. But I didn't stop really anywhere that had another, selfie stick to pick up. on the way. And dude, my car's got a weird thing going on with the stability sensor, whatever.
Oh, you're still fighting with that?
Once I got into the hills,
Oh,
getting close,
yeah.
bro, if you were driving with me, you would wonder what the hell I was up to, because down the hill, I'm 80, 85, because I want the momentum to get up the next one.
Right?
The speed limit, it was like 55, bro. It was like 60 or 55.
Yeah, 55.
So I'm passing somebody quick, 80, 85. And then they're passing me at the top of the hill. I'm going 55. And
Oh,
then
yeah, because it would go one lane and then go back to 2 lanes.
and then it do it again and again and again and again. Like I'm just yo-yoing. Like I was, bro, I prayed so hard. I was like, just let me get there, man.
Yeah, I don't care what happens once I get there. Just get me there.
Let me get there and let it rest. The good thing is there wasn't a ton of people on those roads. So
Yeah.
for the most part, I could get away from everybody and do my yo-yo speed challenge.
And
But
what the heck, man? That road that runs back there to Beat the Creek to the property. Kurt
crazy.
and I were like, what is this about? It's like one lane.
And look at the trailers and some of the big rigs and RVs folks are driving in there.
Yeah. And then, I was like down there in Trail 10, down in there at that creek coming up, and you kept hearing all the traffic coming in on the drive in. And a couple times I looked up and I saw like a big RV. I'm like, I hope the hell that thing stays up there.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of driving into Jet Jam down south. It was very similar.
Gotcha.
The roads are super winding and narrow. Man, yeah.
What's up, MBX? Welcome
What
in, man.
up? Dude, the XP10, I saw those in person finally. Those are beautiful. And I saw those boom racing things, in person too, finally. Like those old school trucks they got, those Zim or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw one or two of those.
I saw a bunch of those, and some of them were just fantastic. And then I talked to the guy, Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy. It's that or Jeremiah, but I think it's Jeremy from At Ease RC. And he showed me some pictures. This dude is probably one of the reasons why you have the ability to purchase a la carte when you do go to boom racing and build it your way. Because there's all kinds of options where you can build out the kits, leafer or not leafer, these links, all kinds of options.
Sure.
And this guy was deep in it with them. And I was, it seemed like he was very much responsible for some of that. And so I was like, dude, thanks. Because that's killer. And he was hanging out in the Reefs booth. He was with them a bunch. So that's what I thought he was. But when I got to talking to him, it was like, man, this guy is a little bit of everything, but seemed really involved with some of the boom stuff. And he showed me one of those Zilm trucks, slammed down, painted beautifully on a TTO2 Tamiya, made into a rally truck.
What?
It had the like extra lights on the front, like a rally would.
Yeah.
Painted up, this old school truck body, slammed and rallied out. It looked so cool, bro.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm thinking, I even told him, I joked him, I was like, that's what happens, I guess, when you have a couple extra Zilm bodies laying around,
Well, that sounds like something you or I would do. You start mixing and mashing stuff and putting things together, and you come up with this contraption that's pretty cool.
Well, those boom kits, I guess, are a little bit smaller, than a regular 10 scale. It's almost more like 12th.
Yep.
But I think there's some options on wheelbase. So, man, there's a lot you can do. I saw a ton of them. A lot of them seem to be patinaed out and turned into wreckers. And, One thing, there was a theme for that show and shine. It was like Kentucky bourbon or Kentucky moonshine or whatever like that. And
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
I didn't know that though until I saw them in the show and shine. So next year, I'm going to pay better attention because depending on the theme, it might be cool to go with doing something like that.
Yeah, I saw at the last minute that they were doing something with the Kentucky bourbon stuff, and I'm like, doggone it.
Yeah. I mean, all I would have had to do was keep my 54 Chevy and throw a barrel in the back, call it done.
Right?
Some copper pipes.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, the XP10 did look awesome. There's so much cool stuff. And
I actually bought 3 tickets last night. Exo Cage was doing a raffle on a new XP10. And I bought 3 tickets and threw it into the hat. And I'm like, all right, let's see what happens.
I bought a couple Reefs tickets, and I don't know what happened or who won it or whatever. I was like, what happens if you're not here? And they were like, well, it made it sound like it would be fine. But
for an XP10?
It was actually for a completely reefed out SR5 Toyota.
Oh, okay.
You could pick Coyote or the SR5. And I was like, I got a Coyote already, so let me do the SR5.
Yep. Yeah, flopping. Yeah, you did 1. I did 3, man. And it was number 2 is what won. Next week, he's doing a raffle on a Vertex 6. And I know Kirk, he's been kind of wanting one of those. And I'm like, dude, come join in and, buy a couple tickets or whatever. Try it.
Oh, the Vertex, yeah.
Yeah.
I am thinking more about one of those than I ever have, just because of the way you can mount to it.
Yep. Super duper easy.
Nuts.
Yeah, speaking of Vertex 6, it makes me think about everything I shared with you today with my whole situation that I'm not going to talk about, but it's a nightmare. If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I think that's kind of what I was putting down on my talk with you yesterday.
Yep. But you know what? I'm not giving up on this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's got to be a way to do it, and I'm going to figure it out. So we don't have to talk about it here. We can talk about it afterwards a little bit, but I just it's there's a lot of moving parts in some of this stuff.
There is. And it's these little one-offs they're small little, it's cottage industry, and the competition is real.
But the problem is like you show a certain thing and then everybody's like, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? It's like, I can't tell you how I did it. I mean, I can tell you, but you're probably not going to be able to maybe a lot of people won't be able to replicate it. And my hands are tied because I can't do anything about it, which sucks, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a few things that if they went your way, that would open it up quite a bit to being able to share what it is you've done.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Which would benefit, the whole
a lot of people.
Yep, the whole community.
Right.
And yourself. I mean, and that's fine. I mean, when people go to extreme lengths to protect intellectual property, it's not because they're being mean. It's just because they're wanting to protect their creation.
Right. Exactly.
And a little bit of that, this is almost in a way uncharted territory. And with some things, like you think about trucks a handful of years ago, when you had a one-off truck that was a truly one-off truck. Well, now with the way files are, and because of 3D printing, a one-off could be shared a number of times to people who never paid to buy in.
Right. Exactly.
And so there's a whole lot of extra things to consider in that type of new ecosystem.
Yeah, and the more popular that this stuff gets, or the 3D printers, you know, I mean, it's going to be a saturated market that is going to be a wild, wild west market, you know, and it's going to be very difficult to hog tie things that have intellectual properties or patents or protected copyrighted laws with them.
And some of that's a little bit honor system.
Yeah,
Where,
for sure.
I mean, I was talking to the Red Line guys about it too, and they're like, some people are just like, yeah, screw your rules, basically.
Right. Yep.
You know? And then a lot of us are going to just respect that, and that's what I expressed to those guys at Redline and Josh at You Imagine, where I was like, you know, I understand how some of the community may respond to some of the notices that have been put out on the IJ in regards to the Facebook group and the intellectual property of it all. And, you know, some people may bristle at some of that, and I get it. But also, as a creative type of person myself, someone has to do it.
Oh, for sure.
And someone's going to be the first to have to protect IP that ambitiously.
Yep.
And so that's kind of what I expressed to him, was like, I get it. And those guys were all super cool. I ran with those dudes when I ran the CJ7. We were the Redline guys, and Hemi Storm was running with us, and Greg from RC Driver and Pete and TJ were there, and they're great dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But they're trying to protect it, you know.
Yep, for sure.
Makes sense, because if you don't, I mean,
like what Floppin just said, you know, 15%. I can't remember offhand if it's still 15% or if it's 22 or 25% now. But yeah, I mean, once China gets a hold of it, they're just going to do whatever they want. Sure, 100%.
Oh wow! If 50% change is the magic number, then every one of these things that I've printed off is fair game.
Well, sure, exactly, and quite frankly, rightfully so, for what I've done to this. In my opinion, it's pretty darn close to 15%. But that's what I'm getting at, guys. You know, like this thing, for instance, you know, it fits well on the SCX6. And again, I did some magic numbers on the size of it and got lucky right out of the gate. So I don't have to take anything off of that chassis to put that body on there. And altered some of the files, you know, to make it fit for me, what I wanted, me personally. And there's going to be some media coming that's going to, you know, cause me some headaches. So I'm kind of in a pickle. Got to work this out a little bit.
Well, and I mean, I think I saw that writing on the wall early, which is why I was always pressing you to, like, bro, figure that out at 163 to keep it simple, because folks aren't going to get what you're telling them.
Right. No, I get it. Absolutely.
With the different numbers, and you're not able to sell the files that way, like G codes. So what are you gonna do, man? You know?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I use license plates and liquid nails to build tiny trucks.
Heck yeah.
In kindergarten CAD programs.
Dr. Pepper in the house. But yeah, you know, I don't worry about, like, you know, an 84 sheepdog, you know, a van.
No.
You know, like everything we've got pretty much is open game.
Yep. What up, Lasso Kid? Anybody I've missed? Good to see you. And sorry.
Yeah, so it's I right now in the position I'm in at this very minute, I need to have some conversations with some people before unleashing the dragon, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I'm in the same boat I was yesterday, where it's like I've operated in this kind of marketing side of this stuff for a long time, where I've been the conduit for connections and some deals. And everyone's glad to have you while the deal's being made. But as soon as they've made the deal, there's no need for you anymore.
Right.
And so your own thing is the goal. And
Yep.
any of these hobby companies that have started, it was like this at Motion. Any of these hobby companies that started, at first they're carrying other people's products. And that means they're competing then with everyone who also sells them. But the goal was always to have your own thing, whether it was your own or you just had managed to lock down exclusivity. That was the goal, and that's what ended up happening with Free Wing and Flightline, and what they got a few of their own OEM stuff now that obviously was already being made somewhere else, maybe, but they lock it up. And because of what we do, it really kind of is just us. So there's not, you don't have to sit through a boardroom to get a decision. In your case, you need permission to be authorized to do what everyone else is kind of trying to.
Right.
But if you're doing your own thing, you don't need permission.
Right.
You need protection.
Right.
So
exactly.
I would follow suit just like them. Word for word on the agreement.
Well, that's like we talked about last night. I mean, that was supposed to be. Josh told me, he's like, bring it and put it on the table. You imagine on Saturday down at Beach Creek, because he saw it and he was like, dude, that thing looks awesome. And with me creating those files that bolt onto that, there's not anything there that's any issues to worry about. Oh boy.
I mean,
do you have your auctioneer's license, Ryan? You better start right now, man.
It's not done. I was going to do windows. And these aren't really the tires I like on it. These are the stock optic wheels.
Exactly.
I mean, I suppose I would. I don't know. I probably want more than anybody wants to give for it. It depends if I got to put windows in it or not. The lights don't really work. They're just dummy lights.
Does he want the whole thing or just the body?
I don't know. It fits perfect on a 10-3 with the Coyote mounts. So this could be on a straight axle or portal, depending.
I want to drive it before you sell it, bro.
It's one of my favorite paint jobs so far, to be completely honest, man. Dude, I mean, come on. Hold on. The light doesn't help me here, but man, I dig it. Dude, look at the back seat. Aluminum.
It's like the race car, man.
It's got Dr. Pepper cans.
It's got driver's seat, and that's it.
That is it, because the transmission, the motor's in the way, dude. The Hobby Wing 1800 G.
Yeah, dude. That's the only problem with that stinking chassis.
But is it a problem
if you're trying to get around it?
That's why I want to vacuum seal it. Like I'd like somebody with a vacuum former to plop me down a sheet over that transmission and those bits, soften it up, and then scan it and soften it up. you know.
Well, you know what we need to do with that? The same thing I just did with the SCX6 chassis.
These are those Toyo, the Vanquish Geolanders on here right now on a new 10.3 kit with the high clearance links.
You know what we need to do with that chassis? I need to 3D scan that.
Yeah.
Just like what I did with the SCX6 the other night. That helped me immensely to 3D scan that chassis, clean
Wait
it
a
up.
minute. You need to scan a chassis?
Let's start scanning chassis.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, is that the new, what is that? The new 10.3 builder kit?
Yep.
Yeah, we do need to scan that. Yep.
I've built, if you count the base camps and the new builders kit, I've done 7 or so this year. But this one is, bro, I couldn't pass it up. It was $60 at RC Chop Shop. It was the whole brand new chassis and links for $60. This is the same chassis underneath my bread truck and the same chassis underneath my Corvair right now.
Heck yeah.
Oh, by the way, transmission done, all done, gears in it, all the things, $55. I was like, how can you not? I already have an extra front axle from doing the pre-runners.
Sweet. Awesome.
And man,
yeah,
I can do a kit in an evening these days. But I couldn't pass this up. I was like, bro, if I get this, all I need to buy is the rear axle, and I got another rig all the way.
Right on. What flopping? What are you talking about with Josh? Does he have his own line of scanners or something, or is he have so many
Josh
of them?
Has so many scanners, it's like a running joke.
I love mine that I got. It works fine if you know how to use it.
I talked to Josh at the show.
Did you?
Yeah.
We walked past him. I didn't say anything to him, but
I met him at I met Reefs in Vegas and I met Josh in Vegas the first time.
Right on.
I was a little bummed out, Matt wasn't there, but it was cool to I marched right up to Greg because I was driving that trimmer's truck. I was like, bro, check this out.
Nice.
Dude, check this out. And Hemi Storm was a super nice guy too.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude.
I was actually told today to reach out to him, and I'm gonna refrain from that.
What, Hemi Storm?
Yeah. Because of the situation I'm trying to work through. No, he's got like 5 or 8 sent to him to review. No.
I could probably do better with a scanner than I don't know, man. If you have a scanner, you also need to be able to run CAD still.
Yeah, yes.
I was talking to that Jeremy guy at Addie's RC, and he told me he took some online 30-day CAD type of YouTube university.
That's me, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? And I don't drive any of my vehicles.
I'm really considering it. Because I don't want to have to rely on somebody to make what I think of. And if I can design it up, it's easier to replicate. Like so much of what I do is a one-off, even if I'm using a printer to do it. Bro, some of these things I make spacers and front mounts and weird little this and that. Bro, I'm drilling the holes myself after I make it. I am not able to place them symmetrically. So dude, I do it manually.
And once you do you get the 3 or 4 clicks to put it where you want it, whether you want it centered on the piece or what you want. And dude, yeah, once you learn CAD, you're going to be like, holy crap.
I want to make my own thing.
And the nice thing is, with these printers, I mean, their tolerances are really not well. I mean, it holds tolerance really well for what it is. So it's
They're
like, man,
super good.
if you're gonna put a 5 millimeter hole in something, it's gonna be 5 millimeter.
Yes, and you have to figure in your own tolerance because whatever you ask for, you'll likely get.
Oh yeah, 100%.
What is tolerance generally? 0.05 or something that you want to give a little wiggle?
And I mean, it depends on what it is. I mean, tolerances usually are plus or minus 10 thousandths or less. I mean, 10 thousandths, in certain worlds is a lot. But I mean, if you're working with this type of stuff, 20, 25, 30 thousandths is plenty enough clearance. But yeah, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like my 3D scanner. It's just the lighting has to be right. There's a lot of factors that go in with those to make them work right. I got lucky with that SCX6 scan the other day. The lighting must have been just right. And man, I went after it, and it took me, I don't know, probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes to scan that thing just because there's so much there. But it was nice to be able to bring it into CAD and put a special something on there.
Bro, like
And just,
I want to do that to everything.
dude, it was sweet because my quick releases that I do on the front, I got right up in there and zoomed in and set that thing, put that right in where I put that right where I wanted it against the front bulkhead.
Bro, if I the mounts are the bane of my existence. You know this. I've been talking about the mounts, how you mount a body since I started doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's always the pain in the butt of the project.
And I've worked it out with what I've been given.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could drag it in and do what you did, I'll make my own. I'll make my own. I'll make it part of the body.
That is so easy because I showed you pictures because you drop the body down on top of that chassis.
And you see where the cutouts are for the
see-
shock towers,
You see
everything.
exactly what all you need to eliminate.
That's what I'm talking about, brother.
And then you lift it back up out of the way, get it out of the way, and then you start working on it, It's slick. I keep getting farther and farther into it. I can't run Fusion like what Josh does. Josh is like, he's awesome at it.
He's an animal.
I love watching. He used to do it on Sundays, I think it was Sundays that he would do the CAD thing.
It's like Sunday night STL or whatever. I think we'll see more of it. He's been doing more of that again. I think it's more viable now. I think there's more people in it now.
Absolutely.
Where it may have, and I talked to him about that, and he's like, yeah, the numbers, and I was like, yeah, I get it, but I think the numbers would be better now, and the value is unbelievable. There's more people into it now. It's not going to fall on deaf ears the same as it might have back then. And in RC 1 year, it's like dog years. It's like 7. So if it was a couple years ago he was doing that, it's really like 14.
Yep.
And but kind of like Chinese New Year. I call it the RC apocalypse.
Yeah, no kidding.
You better get your stuff before then.
Yeah, I've dealt with the Chinese New Year stuff with dealing with RV stuff at work in the past years. But yeah, I enjoy watching Josh work out stuff on Fusion. And you know what? He moves so fast that you gotta pause it, because I sometimes will try to I'll try to play along, just so I can learn the moves.
You see him like time lapse design the mounts for the Rock Tex on his optic or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah. But he did the same thing that I just did with. I probably learned it from him at some point in one of his previous YouTube videos. But he took the 3D scanner and scanned the area that he needed to work with and brought it right into Fusion and worked it out. I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely. It's a greatest group of folks you get to be in, whether you're flying, or wheeling. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, man. It's fun. It's fun learning every day. Like, this hobby is so intriguing. And when you start playing with the CAD and the scanners and doing the printing thing, it's like endless.
I gotta say that's never been on my list, but I mean it would be a riot for sure.
Would you all be interested in low rider hopper just for fun?
Well, it would have to be for fun because I don't know who gets one of those in a super serious. Hey, check this out. Like super analytical, like super calm. Like, come on, no way. You're gonna be clowning if you got one of those. And they're good. I'm not into them, but I actually really do like the bodies you see on some of them. Those old school bodies are sick.
Oh yeah. And
That's
you know what?
the body I would want on a drift car. Something obnoxious, big.
Take that Corvair and turn it into a drift, put it on a drift chassis.
If I did that, I could do it without cutting arches.
Yeah.
I'm so slick.
Are you still, hey bro, are you still, speaking of course, the Corvair, are you gonna do a 1/6 scale on that?
I might.
You know what? That body would be awesome on the Vertex. I think it would actually do really well.
By the time I get it right on a 6, it still may be too small to where I would have to, same thing as the IJ 163, where I run into issue.
You're gonna have to do some of my trickery.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it if you know how to do it. It works.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, I was talking to the guys at Nasty Customs, and they're another entity at the same time. It was like two entities, but it was kind of the same guys. And they had the really nice 3D printed like utility beds and stuff, and they were raffling off like a SCX6 that was dialed in. They raffled off one last year, and I mean, it got a lot of attention, and those guys were cool. But I was talking to them. It's Josh and Jarrett, and I was talking to Josh about the bread truck, and I was like, "Bro, if I were to have left it alone, it would have been absolutely ridiculous.
Hideous business is what it would have been.
So crazy.
Yep.
And so man, when you have to, you have to. I don't want to ever, but when you need to, you need to.
Yeah. Did you drive that at all down there?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What up, Chuck?
Chuck in the house.
Chuck in the house.
Chuck in the house, man. Yeah.
Good to see you.
So I've
been playing with AI a little bit.
Who? You?
Chuck.
Oh. Dude, I actually, for the first time 2 weeks ago, I played with the Chat GPT, and I was like, how should I even say it? I was kind of like just amazed.
It's unbelievable.
At what little you could put in on that and what it'll give you.
I told you the story, I'm sure, about the one thing about the chat is Chat GPT, and I think all AI in general, it kind of wants to tell you what it thinks you want to hear. So it will lie to you. So one of my first experiences with Chat GPT, I got really excited about designing a 3D printed T6.
Oh, yeah. I think you told me about that.
Yeah. I spent hours.
Yep.
working back and forth with it, I felt like I had my own design team of people that could execute on what it is I wanted. I could say it, but I don't know how to do it.
Yep.
And bro, I was like, this is going to be great. If this works, this is all I'm going to do ever for the rest of the time. And man, we were building out this project and it would read it back to you. I mean, you get in this feedback loop with it and it's like,
Yep.
Then it starts to know where you're coming from and ask you all the right questions. I'm like, yeah, do that. And dude, I had designed with AI the most fantastic, ultra scale, super dope, built around specific power systems, retracts, flaps, bolt-on covers for the servo so you can change them, like everything dialed AF. And then it acts like, yeah, well, I'll have it done in just a little bit, like the files.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pumped because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna start printing this right away, you know. And I'm not gonna tell anybody till it's done and I know it works. I'm just like, I'm mapping out who's gonna be my CFO, like all the things, all the things. And I keep checking on it. I'm checking on it, and I'm checking on it, and you know, it said it was coming, like just a moment, blah, blah, you know, working on the files. We'll have it ready soon, basically, is how it left off. I could probably find the conversation and read it back to you. And like a week or two goes by and it's like nothing. And then so I come back at it and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And it kind of acts like it's still working on it or whatever. So I'm like checking again, like every day, every hour or whatever. And eventually, nothing. And so I chew its ass. I come back on. And I was like, hey, listen, no hard feelings. You know,
don't play this card.
When the robots take over, I don't want to be the first to go.
Right.
But I'm like, basically, I'm nice about it. No hard feelings. But it's okay if you can't actually do the thing we're working on, you know?
Yep.
But just say so.
Right.
Just say so, because I chewed it. I was like, dude, I've been waiting for a minute on these files and you can't even do them. And that's okay. Just say so.
That's crazy.
But it keeps getting better and better. And somewhere, somehow, somebody's going to make you want to turn around and say goodbye. Wilson Phillips, thank you very little. No, but somewhere, somehow, it will be possible.
It will be.
Where you can tell it what you want and it actually produce STLs.
I'm one of these days, I'm going to start forcing myself. There's one guy in particular that I saved his YouTube channel that has a whole series of how to take and find a car print that has the, all four sides to it. And he takes you through step by step of what to do on CAD to be able to basically create a body. And one of these days, I'm going to really focus and just every week going to do a couple of those segments and learn from it and figure out how to do this and do it for myself. The only other thing I know what to do is actually go 3D scan a car, which, I mean, there's guys that can do that. I mean, you can do it, because what you do is scan a quarter panel and scan a hood and scan the other quarter panel and scan the bumper. And then you just start bringing those files in and start working them in CAD. And eventually you got a whole body. And I know they're doing it.
Yeah.
Some guys are doing that.
If there's another way, or if you can do it off the tech drawings, that's cool too.
Right. But boy, there's a lot of work. I think the series in that YouTube series was like I want to say it's like 16 or 18, like hour-and-a-half sessions or something. It's really like in depth of how to go through and actually map out something and put something together in CAD to create one of these. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just like reading tablature. Like I remember
Yeah.
reading some tab and I'd learn a few chords and then I was like, forget the song I'm trying to learn right now. I'm just going to mess with these chords.
Yep.
And that would be beneficial.
Yep.
Anything you can learn on that
Yep. Absolutely.
would be useful.
Hey, go solo for a minute. I'm gonna go upstairs real quick.
I've played around with some of that AI to make thumbnails and stuff. I've used it to outline videos before too, just like, but it's, I was already doing it, you know. What up? There's a dog. I'll let her back in, I guess. Sunday AM podcast. Yeah. I mean, it's no Top Golf, you know what I mean? Top Golf news. Neon lights and trick hydraulics on the RC US Army Jeep. The short answer is I don't feel any kind of way about that. I think that has its place though. And I mean, you definitely get the conversation started if you did that to a 1941 Willys Jeep, though, for sure. I don't go too crazy with the auxiliary stuff. If I put winches on something, it's generally for looks. Come on, dog. Dog. Yeah, there's a few things I regret not having the time to run at this show, dude. I'm so bummed I didn't run the Vanquish Scout. You know what I mean? My classic, the Origin Classic.
Brother, there's not enough hours in the day. Kirk and I brought a truckload and a half. And we didn't touch. Kirk ran one vehicle.
Yeah.
On Friday, I ran two.
I ran one on Friday, and then, yeah, man, I wanted to. I just didn't get to it. I didn't get to it, man.
I mean, it's a you take a lot with the anticipation you're gonna break something, you're gonna sell something.
But don't you know better
whatever.
now what to expect, having been?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
I think I do.
Like Axial Fest 2 years ago when Kirk and Sean and I went down there. The only thing I drove was my 10 scale Jeep Rubicon, my Wide Max.
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing I drove.
Yeah. I was prepared for whatever. I didn't know. I kind of thought maybe just like sand in the creek. You know, I didn't really plan on 3D printing through the creek. But I did kind of by accident.
When you told me you drove the Tremors truck up number 10, and you drove it in number 9 too, didn't you?
No, it was just 10.
I mean, still, even at that,
I did 9 was the optic.
I was shocked that you took the Tremors truck up number 10.
I ran the Corvair on 2, and then I ran the Travelall on, I think that was on 2 as well, and then it broke off into something else or something.
Nice. What's up, Aaron Phillips? All right, all right, all right. That's what Ryan would say when he get my Lincoln Aviator.
Only damage I have. That's the only damage on any of my rigs.
What?
The dude's head's missing.
Oh, I couldn't see it for the roll bar. Okay. You lost Dreyfus?
Ichabod Crane, bro. Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
But dude, when this had the Rock Tex in it. RC Driver's SR5 had Rock Tex in it. And Pete was driving a stock out of the box, the same SR5 that we filmed when it was released.
Yep.
And he made it everywhere we did, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Stock SR5. I tell you what, that truck's growing on me little by little, more and more.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I think the 10 scales are better down there at Beat the Creek than what the 6 scales are. I just
scales are so badass, though, bro. I mean, you're limited. Yeah, you've got less trails that they even will let you on with the 6. But I feel like the 6 is definitely going to always dominate the creeks. There were trails we didn't even get close to. I think there was a bunch of like leafers and some real scale stuff somewhere else that I didn't even see those trails.
There was like something at the end of, I think it was Trail 9, right by where you walked from the parking area into Vendor Row. And right to your right, there was a trail there that had some, was that number 2?
Yes.
They had some small 1/10 scale, like, you know.
Trail 2, if you're new, and Trail 2, if you just want to, I mean, there's so many spots that are good for filming. But Trail 2, I would run any 10 scale rig on there and want to film it. Any of them. And I ran that Corvair with Pete, had his TF2 kind of utility truck, small tire leafer, and was able to work out Trail 2 with that. And then he ran a different leafer like that when I ran my leafer with the TF2 guys.
Gotcha.
And 2 is beautiful. I mean, it all was, but 2 was. The reason I say 2 if you're new is sometimes it's not the truck you have to worry about taking the trail. It's,
right.
It's the guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I would look at some of those hills we had to walk down to get to where we were trying to go. I would joke with dudes. I'd be like, man, listen, I'm just going to roll down the hill.
Bro,
my legs are done. I'm walking backwards down some of it because the front of my legs were on fire, G.
Bro, when we walked down with TJ and Pete and their little group down to get started on 9.
Brutal.
Dude, my toes, I felt like my toes were going to go blasting through my tennis shoes.
Brutal.
Yeah. It was ugly. What's up, Wild Bill?
What up?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I actually did a little more work tonight, right before the show on the Tahoe. So hopefully, Ryan, this is my last round of thin Bondo paste on a couple areas that I needed.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be the last sand, and then I can do one thin coat of primer and be ready for paint on that little fella. But you know what? Before I paint it, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted to the chassis. Usually I'll paint them and get them all done and then mount them. But I think on this one, I think I'm gonna mount it first, figure out exactly where I need it, and get it mounted up before I start dinging things and scratching things, and
I get that.
And then paint it. Last thing I do.
I was poking around looking for a 42 Studebaker truck files the other day, and I found them.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Colts?
I think so, yeah. And that truck, if I make it, is a full body off restoration, fresh paint, black.
Oh.
So I feel like I'm prepared for it because the way I go about my bodies anyway gets me pretty close. I just go the other way with the rust. But the hide everything, mentality, I think will serve me well. But this one will be, if I'm making this one, it's literally a miniature of a full scale one.
Yep.
And it will need to be nice.
You said it was a 42, right?
42 Studebaker truck. Looks like a 54 Chevy, kinda.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at him right now. Sure does. Sharp.
It is sharp.
Built right here in South Bend.
And I'll definitely, that's the kind of rig that I want to put on a boom kit.
Oh, dude, this is up your alley, bro.
Leafer. Oh, out there on the real trail somewhere in Utah is an old rig that looks like that they turned into a 4-wheel drive monster. There's no front fenders. In the back is a cage, looks like a honcho. Setting all low. It looks like a real comp truck.
That's awesome.
Bruh. It's got that crazy, funny front cowl like you just showed me. What up, Pete?
What up?
Dude, we had a blast.
This actually looks pretty slick too. I didn't realize they had such a. Hang on.
What is it?
Look at that guy. That thing is pointy in the nose.
Is that a Studi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad I caught you tonight. Do you guys use a special light kits for your SCX6 builds? I'll tell you what I use on mine. The light kit for the honcho. Every time. Because I get big whites, reds, and white. And you end up getting the light pods that you could put on the top of something too later. That I actually never use. I keep giving to Kelly and Kurt.
Yes. Hey, I need one more set of those.
This is the last set I got.
Pete, I need a set of those.
Use your influencer discount, G.
For the build, bro.
I'll take it.
I'll talk to you about that afterwards. That's not what you think it is.
I see.
Yeah, I need a set of those cube lights from the honcho because the last ones that I'll get them from. I'll ask Pete about it. The last ones
I'd like to have some, but I don't really ever use them, so it's okay.
Well, I need them for the special build.
And then to finish up, Aaron, to answer your question, so sometimes, a lot of the time, those are the lights I use, but they maybe aren't gonna get me where I want to go. So I'll just cut and splice in and solder wires and stuff. But I like them because they don't need a light controller, and you can wire them into any channel if you don't have any left on the receiver.
Yep.
And on the 6s, there's always plenty of channels because it's intended to have those lights. And I use the Honcho lights instead of the Wrangler lights because the Wrangler lights aren't really like bulbs. They're more like LEDs on a little PCB board for each lens, really specific to like a new Wrangler, which might be appropriate for what you're up to, Kelly.
I need the most correct ones I can get, brother.
Dude, the Wrangler SCX6. Those lights should be as close as you're going to get for what you need on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll fit. Still sorting between that was more wheeling than I've ever gotten it. Axial Fest.
I called the show beat up from the creek up tonight. Yeah. I've made myself get outside after work and like shoot hoops just so I don't lock up completely. So I don't lock up completely, bro.
That's what you gotta do.
That's what you gotta do.
Yep. Back when I built the Blazers, those trailer side marker lights worked perfect for on that. And I went to buy some of those for the other two Blazers that I still have down here in pieces that I got to put together. And they weren't available. And I was lucky to find another company that had pretty much the same thing.
Oh, on Amazon? Yeah.
Yeah, for those side marker lights, those work really good. But I'm all over the place on lights myself. I actually buying the Axial stuff, like what Ryan's talking about for the 6, is the best way to go because those lights are brighter than anything else you can buy.
And they're big bulbs made for the big 6.
Yeah. Have a full set of JLU lights if you got a Honcho light kit.
And on the 10 scale, I use the new CJ7 light kit. You get amber, red, and whites.
Let's talk it over, brother, because I need a light kit, man, for a Jeep. And I'm not robbing mine off of the stock body, my Jeep body I bought from you.
I'd probably go with the Honcho ones, man. But the lenses from the Wrangler might be
actually
useful.
The way that this situation is that I'm working on over here, the lenses are super thin, and I think I'm just going to print them out in the transparent red, 100% infill, and I think they'll be just fine. Or I might go 60 or 70%, depends. I want to get a grid pattern on the inside of them.
Oh,
you know. So I think I'm going to try printing these first before I look anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, once you have the lenses, if you have the lenses, then the only trick is the buckets.
Yeah. Nail and Aaron, you can find me either on Facebook at KKRC76, or I just actually started an Instagram account under my KKRC76.
Yeah, I know Louis Fix-It from the Urban Legend channel. He's one of the panelists sometimes. He's a lot of bashers. And I think he could do whatever you want him to, but he kind of needs the body. It seems like he wants the body when he's going to do it. So that's the one thing there. I have thought about Louis before because I'm like, hey, man, give me a few strands of whites this long. Give me a few strands of reds this long, 2 on each, make them this wide. If there's slack, I can deal with it. But it does kind of suck having to solder and stretch them out to get across the tailgate or whatever. Because the thing about the Honcho lights, those red lights in the back are intended to go on this particular cross member right here.
Yep.
So they're made very narrow. So you got to split them. You got to add some wire in if you want to widen them out.
So these guys, I bought these on Amazon. I've talked about this off and on the last few weeks. And
You
put
need a
those
12-volt battery though.
Well, that's the thing. Like these are actual, utility trailer 3/4 inch bullet lights, 12-volt lights. And I think there's 3 LEDs in each one of these. I can tell you for sure. But these fit pretty well in the back of the 6-scale IJs. I tried using the clear ones for the headlights and these for the taillights and wired them together. And the 8.4-volt BEC will not handle all 4 of them. So I wound up having to power all 4 of them in the white IJ off of one of my 3-cell batteries. They're just directly wired in. So, and to tell you, honestly, yes, there are 3 LEDs inside there. And it's kind of comical because what I did with the amber ones, I'll never use them. I cut the face of them off and glued them onto where the fog lights go on the nose of this, underneath the headlights.
Dude, I like those lenses and housings, even if you were to rip out the stock lights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can do that. That's why I was just telling these guys. That's what I did with these. See how I cut the face of that off? Uh-oh. First print of 3 is done. Just finished. But I cut the face of those off and just glued them onto the nose of the blue IJ where the turn signals go.
Those look good, and they got those little bezels and stuff already.
Yeah, it's already got the reflex already built into the. Yeah, it looked good.
Totally cool.
I'm never going to use the amber lights for anything, so I was like, "What the heck? Might as well just."
And if you want to leave them on 12 volts, what do? You just let a 3S be the power supply for the lights.
That's what I just told everybody. That's what I'm doing with the white IJ. I mean, I always carry 2 batteries on board anyways, like everybody else does. So I just soldered on an EC3 plug onto my wire and just plug them into a 3-cell pack. And giddy up and roll. Holy crap, Ryan! My first print's done.
Your first print of forever
of 3. First print of 3, brother. 28.5 hours, brother.
Jeez.
And I got 2 more to go.
That thing will be sick.
I think so. Cracking the first one off my plate right now because I gotta get.
No, I'm just in like recovery mode still. I'm like, what do I need to make next? I need to finish stuff. I need to get a heat gun, I think, for making windows.
Oh, yeah.
To heat up my Lexan.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I keep buying the wrong thickness.
Are you buying the 30?
I'm buying the like 3/32 or something.
Huh.
Or like 1/16, which doesn't sound like it's thick, but it is.
Yeah, 1/16 is pretty thick.
Bruh.
Sorry, I'm coming back. If I don't keep moving on this project, I'll never get this one done.
Do it, man. Keep moving.
This is a big one.
I was looking at parts, man. I'm gonna have to go to RC Chop Shop or somewhere because the housings and everything I need were there, but at Horizon, the axles themselves on the rear, the metal drive axles.
Yep.
They're out.
Oh.
And so I was like, because I was going to build up a shopping cart full of stuff. And then I realized those were not available. And so I was like, you know what? I took everything out of my cart except for those new Mickeys. And
dude, those new Mickeys look so good.
I love the size. I want to see that 455 on that Corvair really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, probably fit perfect, man.
And I got, I had some tire rub with the Pats, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
And I think shaving them down was a good idea. Like I did. I definitely lost some diameter doing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I am sure, brother. Dude, it's so good.
Let's go wider.
Why? Are you going to melt stuff again? She put it away.
Oh,
She put it away and she was cussing your name. She was mad.
actually,
No, she doesn't cuss. But
I was about to say, like, the worst word I've ever heard her say was ass. Like, get your ass.
What do you need it? You don't need it.
I wanted to melt stuff.
No. No, Beavis.
Bro, my friend put hot glue on tape and it got stuck to his finger and it was like burning his finger. So he started to fling his finger around and the tape with the hot glue flew to someone's face and burnt someone's face.
And it stuck on him?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of what CA glue does when you pick it. It gets super hot. Some of the glue we use, when you put the 2-part on it, it gets so hot.
Yeah,
So
you
it's on
got
your fingers. It already sucks that it's on your fingers, but then you spray them and it's like, oh. Like hot glue, it just keeps burning until it's not hot anymore, right?
Yeah.
This does it chemically. Crazy.
Well, just tell him to use CA and accelerator.
Dirty
Oh my
thirds. Give me a second and I'll answer your question. I forget which compound I got. Whatever was available, probably.
Oh my.
You gonna set for your Origin Classic? You don't think they'll be small looking? We'll see together. We can find out.
4.5s?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm over here trying to break supports off of this without breaking my 28.5-hour print.
Predator compound's what I got.
Good choice.
What's the difference?
The Predator compound is softer.
Right
than
on.
the G8. So, I mean, if you're going to be crawling on rocks and stuff, you definitely, the Predator compound I've always found is a lot better because it just sticks better. Oh, no. Brother, I'm going to break something on this, and I'm going to get mad. I am fighting it.
Dude, I can't wait to run my Classic for real. I got it dialed.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I kind of played with that bump steer stuff a little bit. I'm probably going to clean up those Trepidors, though, and put them on here. So I'll have some weight down low. And I'll run the Rock Tex without the magnets.
Yeah.
But it was a good call to paint the grill out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was black, right?
It was black. So was this back bit and bumper.
Yep.
You know what? Since you're getting so slick, you need to scan this piece and throw the international branding on it, bro.
Easy peasy.
Chris says on the support, set your top Z offset on supports to 0.26. You won't have to fight it.
Well, I'm not fighting it. Probably a bad choice of words. They're big and meaty, and there's a lot of them, the tree supports, and I'm just trying to be careful not to break something on the actual print. That's all.
I got it.
I should use my handy dandy snippers.
Hello.
That's what they gave them to us for, right?
I didn't know one gave me any, but yeah, that's what they're good for.
I mean, I always get a pair with the Corralities every time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got 2 pair of these
For what you got to put into a bamboo, I should have a couple boxes of stovetop.
Right.
As well.
You should. And a proper meatloaf.
Nail on Aaron. If you do Facebook, post up your pics on RC3D Fab Factory Facebook group.
Yeah. Holy guacamole. That actually came out pretty good.
Let's see.
I'm pretty stoked.
Wrong guy. Bro. What if the bumper breaks off?
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if the bumper goes, everything's going, bro.
That's where you scan the stock bumper and just reuse the cylinders that go in those cross members.
It's pretty solid, brother.
I get it, but you know what I'm saying? What would you rather have to fix, the whole thing or just the bumper?
No, I get that. It's honestly, it's solid. It's actually really, it's more solid than what I thought it was.
There's Louis in the chat right now, dude. His ears must have been burning, dude. Louis Fix It makes killer light kits for bashers. And somebody brought you up a minute ago talking about the big SCX6s and stuff. And my from what I've gathered, it seems like he wants the bodies to do it, you know. But I think on the 6s, it's what we're doing is so custom. All we need is the lights at a certain length. One length should fit them all. Make it big enough to do a stock Honcho or a stock Wrangler, and after that, we can move them around and deal with the slack. And then we're kind of on our own for the buckets and the lenses at that point.
Yep.
Someone asked us earlier what we use for lights on these things, and here's the answer, Louis. And you might find an opportunity in this response. My answer was, I use the Honcho lights all the time for the SCX6, but almost every time I use them, I have to solder in my own, wires to make them long enough, especially on the red lights in the back, because they're designed for, you can't see me.
Can't see you.
They're designed to go in a little cross member that's on the back of the Honcho. So you see they're not very far apart in there. So I'm all the time, whenever I use the Honcho lights, which are fine because they just servo plug in, no light controllers are necessary. But I'm always stretching out the wires, man. I got to solder in something. So that's why I keep all my dead servos and stuff, because I literally will just chop the dead servo off, pull one of the wires out, and solder my own. But I would like to just buy red, white, and amber lights that I don't have to solder wires to with servo connections.
Yep. For sure.
Shop did have a booth there. Yes. And I went and talked to him. I forget what his name is, but I went and talked to him because I just want to tell him thanks. And I was like, bro, you're crushing it. Good job. And it's the most fantastic chop shop there ever has been in all of history. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I get a ton of stuff from him. I told him who I was. I was like, dude, I buy a ton of 10 III stuff, and you always ship to Ryan Ramsey every couple of weeks.
Something's coming to Ryan's way.
Yeah, from him. Not to mention the other stuff. I do a little Amazon now, more than I ever did before.
Do you use your own link?
No. No.
I had to ask.
Which is funny, right? It's like, okay, this influencer stuff, like you get dialed in with commissions and you got a family full of people that are buying on Amazon all the time. Like,
yeah, right.
And no one will do it. It's just nobody gets it. It's fine.
It's like, yeah, nah, we don't need to click on it.
But I didn't see the thing I wanted on your store. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to put dog shampoo on the store. But if you click to my store first and then you go shopping, it still will count. Whatever. I've been on the whatever train with that for a while.
He's on the whatever train, guys.
I just want to keep on giving value, bro, and show people what you can do to an RTR to make it absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
And what you can do with a little bit of sweat equity when it comes to making stuff with a 3D printer.
Yep. That's what we're doing over here.
I'd like to thank today's sponsor too, cheese curds. Thank you very much. So if they didn't call them cheese curds, I don't think anybody would eat them if you called them mozzarella sticks in the South. So I had them for the first time in my life at the show, and I was like, bro, these are like shrinky dink mozzarella sticks. But apparently they hate the Italians down there, so they call them cheese curds.
I was wondering if we were going to make a drive through at Culver's tonight and talk about cheese curds.
Oh, they have them?
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things I never would have had, except I was so hungry, dude. That food truck in the middle of Vendor Row.
Oh, yeah.
The absolute best cheeseburger, dude, and cheese curds. Cheese curds with a little salt, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, bro.
So good.
Do I not have? I don't. I don't have a chassis down here.
Did you start printing the other pieces?
Yeah, I just started.
Let's see that again. You should get a 6 out so we can see it. Is it skinny?
It's skinnier than anything else that I've got for a 6. Nah, Ryan, it's the same. It's the exact same width as what our internationals are, Scouts.
The 10 scale?
No, 6 scale.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just put it up against my 1/6 scale Scout. It's almost identical.
Good.
Right, real close.
Good. And those are wide boys anyway, the Scout.
Hey, the best part is I don't have to stretch a chassis. Ha!
There you go.
Ha!
That's what's up.
Work it out.
That's what's up.
I don't have to stretch a chassis. It should be pretty close. It should be real good. I got a chassis sitting upstairs that I don't have a body on. A 6 chassis that I'll put on there.
Nice.
I'll take a picture of it and text it to a few of you.
Good.
Yep.
Chris said, ouch.
Ouch.
On the stretch comment.
Oh, Chris, we still love you, buddy.
Hey, man. If you're not going to learn from your own mistakes, learn from someone else's.
Well, my
That's
point.
the beauty of the community, though. You actually get to.
Here's my point, though.
Mine was the same.
We've all have made that mistake, All I'm saying is, and Chris knows, Ryan, I spent 2 evenings and one early morning for a couple hours working out these files to figure out what I was going to actually do, because it's a crew cab. And crew cabs are a you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so
use them.
That's why I scanned the SCX6 chassis and put it in Fusion and had to bring the body in and just what do I do? What do I do? How do I do this and not make it look stupid?
When you scan that in, is it full size when you're working with it then?
Yep.
Nice.
So what I did was I took the whole body and put it all together like I do, and took it and threw it on the printer plate and sized it to what I knew I needed to really be or close to, and then saved it and then took it into Fusion and then brought that down and dropped it right on top of the chassis. And I decided I wanted to go a little bit wider, so I just made some adjustments, brought it back in, and got it to exactly where I wanted it. I got rid of the running boards off of the body because I wanted to be able to drop it down more and not make it super monster truck looking.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you work it out on the computer. It's free on the computer. And the computer not always is right, you know. In reality, you know, you're living in a fantasy world on computer, but it gets you so close that you can save yourself a lot of time and filament,
Yeah.
you know.
I have a feeling if I go Corvair on the big dog, it's probably going to work out. But if it doesn't, there's no way I'm going to make that thing any taller.
Bro, I can send you the scanned 6 file.
What do I do with that then?
I'll walk you through it. It's not difficult at all.
Like I said, I'm going to start the YouTube University CAD deal.
Yeah.
30 days to know how to do anything.
It's
I've played with it before, and it's like, bruh, I'm on computers all day. I kind of am okay with the handsy stuff, but man, because it's a nice break. But the handsy stuff sometimes costs me a lot of time, and I can't repeat it. It's a one-time deal.
Yep.
And just like back to the circle back touch base, you know how David Letterman, when he was on, he would always circle back and touch base, and it wasn't funny the first 4 or 5 times, but by the 10th, it's hilarious. This isn't a joke, but it feels the same, where it's like I will land back on mounts. I have some ideas with them that I want to see come to fruition. Then you don't have to sell body files. You sell a system for mounting up whatever body you want.
Yes.
For builders.
And I would,
for the hobby.
It would be nice if there was something for the 6. So if you got something in mind for the 6, which you probably do because you're thinking axial anyways. I know how you work.
My head's on the ultimately 10.3 H10s, Origin Classics, SCX6s.
Yep.
The stuff I'm messing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
The stuff I'm messing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Well, like you said, you know, trying to figure out how to make everything somewhat user-friendly and uniform. You know, you don't want to have too many files of, you know, for all the different, you have to kind of in a way for all the different like 10.3 chassis in a way, because you got to work around the center masses of the difference in the transmissions.
And that's talking about interiors.
Yeah,
which is definitely part of it. My head's just super around the body itself to the chassis. You know, it's like cross the bridge on interiors later, but I think those guys at Nasty Customs had, what's the other name? There was like 2 entities there. I think they have their own kind of. They've got a bunch of cool stuff. They had a adjustable skid plate for SCX6s. They're working on.
I remember you telling me that.
Where you can keep the links, but a modular center skid plate.
Mm-hmm.
It looked good.
Which, I mean, it's not hard to do. Do a dovetail and make it, just slide it back and forth. Have your bolts wherever they go through the chassis. You know, you got to keep that same bolt pattern no matter which way you go with you know, how wide or how small you go.
That's right. And then you're going to need a pillar. So it was kind of like it was divorced. So it was kind of like in halves, and there may have been a center section as well. So the center section would be, you know, a little bit the
you kind of have a male female end, so to speak.
The factor there. Yeah. And I think it was those guys telling me too. It's like that chassis goes together like the old base camps do, where you actually have some opportunities with the chassis rails itself to go out some.
Yep.
And that's something we would never think about when you're relegated to using the links it came with. But if you knew you had a skid plate that you could adjust, then you could kind of play with where those chassis rails bolt together and stretch or shrink it out, and not buying new links or making them.
Right, because in you know, days past, you just, if it was a builder's kit, you put it together to fit the Lexan body that everybody has. And now we've got the beauty of doing this and going, oh, I want to make this body 10% bigger than what the Lexan was. And then I kind of want to go 12 or 15% wider on the width and the height to make it look legit, because I like it to be a little more pedestrian looking. And so now, with that said, and all this awesome crap that we got to use nowadays, it makes sense to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, and if I'd like to throw Boom Racing on the list of things I'd like to make mounts for. And yeah, each body's going to be a little bit different, but like, think about it. I've said this to you before, where it's like, you know, you design a set of mounts for SUV style. You design a set of mounts for square body.
Right.
That should cover Chevy and Ford in most of the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. And I mean, some of the stuff gets a little weird and a little one-off, but if I do this Studebaker for this guy, I want it on a boom leafer. And yes, I'll figure out how to mount it. And if I was slick enough, I'd never have to worry about it. I would just do it on the fly like some of you guys do. But if there's a system, if there's a thing that works that can be adapted, I'm into it.
Sure.
And we're gluing already.
Mm-hmm.
So the combination of gluing and screwing, like even if something's adjustable when you print it off, but you get it where you want it, and then you set it, then you screw and glue it, and that's what it is for that one. But that same set of files could be used on something else potentially. That its baseline is somewhere else, but at least you could solve that problem. And it's a whole new lump of concerns with, you know, all these new 10.3s have the clipless stuff going on if you want.
Yep.
And so that underneath of the Coyote hood, you don't need the top piece, but that underneath piece, it's nothing but a drop down bar.
Right. This slides in.
Yeah. And then the back, it's a clicker deal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But even that could be made. Theirs is cool, and it's got a little contour to it, and I heated mine up and flattened it out some, and then I hit it on the bread truck. But it doesn't have to be that. And on the Corvair, it wasn't going to work, so I went with the.
I saw you put the body post in.
I had to.
Mm-hmm.
They were the elbow ones that go back. Well, they could have went forward, but I set them back and down all the way. And I'm
shocked that I'm shocked that you didn't use magnets on the back for that.
Really?
And not use the body post coming up through that body.
Why? Because it's Corvair.
Well, I mean, you did a nice job on the body, and you got body pins coming up through the back.
Yeah, but it's also going to be a pre-runner first too.
And I know how you are aesthetically. You would be blowing me shit if I did that. You'd be like, "What are you doing?
Oh man,
What are you doing over there, Klein?"
I suppose.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta do what you got. You use what you got.
Simplicity, bro.
And make it work for what you want it for.
I can pick that thing up by the roof.
Sure. Yeah.
I can pick up the bread truck by the roof.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You were going to use that as a pre-runner body. I'm glad you didn't do that because pre-runner bodies don't 3D printed pre-runner bodies don't that don't mix, bro.
No.
Unless you build a whole body out of TPU, and I can't stand TPU. But after all the bashing and crashing we've done with those Lexan bodies, they've held up. I'm shocked how well they've held up.
Yeah, they have.
Especially when you stuff the nose of this one up Pete's rear end with his truck that day we were at France Park. That was a hard hit, bro. And it all stayed together, man. That's good stuff.
Those cowcatcher bumpers don't hurt.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's yeah, good times. I'm about ready to end this this story, man, for the night, and take this first chunk upstairs and see how it sits on the chassis.
I gotcha.
Yep,
that works.
Yes, sir.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum are on.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I was bummed he wasn't able to make it, actually, a little bit.
Who, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to bust his chops in person.
Well, since, he's talked about the battles that he's dealt with those big tundras he's doing, I'm like, you and I both are like, whatever, come on, bro.
Crew cabs for the win.
And it's he I think he could have saved himself some time on stretching those chassis out like he did, but it makes sense with having the soccer ball in the back there. I mean, you got to have room for that stuff.
I think too, probably a little bit more confined to stay true to scale on it and not take some of the liberties we take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, I mean, they look fantastic. So yeah, if they're all scale, it's great. It's kind of like this Tacoma. I actually am going to have to run. I'll have to run the SCX6 chassis with a set of Arlarlo tires because they were the right size to make it look proportional.
That's why I want to do that Studebaker on a boom kit, because I want to use those smaller pedestrian boom tires. They'll be perfect. I won't have to chop on his arches.
Yep.
Because that's not what that job is.
Right.
Dude, I swear, if I make one, I want to make two, because I want to run one and patina one, and I want to make one for him. That's what I should do. As long as I charge enough to get me one too, I guess it's a win.
Everything's better in 2s or 3s, man.
I want one too. So like, even if I don't do a Studebaker on it, it's like, well, I should do 2 maybe, because I learned something on the first one. And then, but dude, honestly, I don't care what I make as long as I make enough to get one boom kit for me as well. Yeah. That's it. I've decided.
Yeah, do it. Do it to it, brother. Do it to it.
That means dude's paying like $1,500. I guarantee it never happens. I mean, I could just sell one. If I don't make it enough where I get one too, then I suppose it'd be
for a
okay.
110 scale, yeah, it's a little stiff, bro. You know?
Custom. You want a replica of your rig.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Off chassis, resto, fresh paint, shiny chrome.
And black is not easy to do.
Come on, dude. And if I do a boom kit or a leafer, I'm able to do that interior.
Yeah.
Which is dialed as well. I have pictures of it somewhere on my phone. It's been a year, so they're back there. But man, actually, I know you're trying to go, but let me try to find them.
So the files are legit too. You've looked at the files.
You know how it is. You don't really get to look at them until you buy them.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Most of the time.
Yep.
But all right, this will be back a bunch. Just bear with me. This thing was gorgeous though, bro. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I see my Chevy and my Ford in here, and I'm like, I miss you.
They're all like little kids, man. Can't get rid of them.
Well, I mean, you can't sell them.
It was hard for me to sell 2 airplanes to Bevan.
Is it Bevan or Bevan?
It's Bevan, I think, because he left me a voicemail and said his name, and he said Bevan. So I think it's Craig. Bevan. Yep.
All right, man. I'm gonna find it. There's my Ford.
There's my Ford. I would think it'd be harder to see, one of your former kids that you produced and made out on social media having fun. Not, that's what I'm saying. You see that. I think that would be harder than seeing the pictures on your phone.
He's posting. Well, actually, when someone's like, post up your favorite SCX6 or whatever, and the dude posts up my red door Ford that he bought, I consider it a challenge to the whole human race, and I'm not going to lose.
Bro, you need to, when you see something like that next time, when he posts something about it, you need to send me the link to it or where it's at, and I'll take the picture of our 3 trucks sitting on top of that little sand hill at Bonnie.
Yeah.
I think I had my VW Bug that's all ugly patinaed. You had the white Ford with the red door, and Kirk had, I think it's 54 Chevy maybe. And I'll post up a picture and be like, look at my 3. And that dude's going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. That looks just like mine. It is yours.
Where is this?
I'm going to start playing the Jeopardy song for you. Have a good one, Chuck. Thanks for coming in tonight, man.
Long for a minute, dude. Man, that 54 Chevy was sick.
I got one up here. It's got a cracked bumper on it because my buddy Justin decided to hit me wide open.
Bro, I found it. I'm going to send
the honcho.
Dude. I'm going to send him to the...
What are you showing? The real truck? The real truck? Huh? Yeah, the real one that you're going to replicate? Yeah. Dude, my neighbor down the street's got a 39 Chevy. And I would love to that. Maybe that's a good one to try in 3D scan and see if I can get that to work.
Check this out. Where'd it go?
It went to your downloads.
That's where I'm at.
This is where they go.
Yeah, but that's where I am.
Oh, interesting.
Why?
Holy guacamole.
What? Bro, where'd they go?
Dude, the Kim
What?
man got back. Kim man got back to me, bro.
Oh, good.
I don't know if it's good or not, but he did.
We got to find out here in a minute. Dude, where did those go? I just saw them. Oh, I finally hear your printer now.
Yeah, it's tossing down the first layer, so it's not running wild warp speed yet.
This doesn't make any sense. Date created. I mean, why? Date added. There.
Did you find it?
Yes.
Nice. It's not that much wider than what I did before.
Dude, look at that.
All right, coming. I was just looking something here. Just stepped on all my little support crap on the floor. Okay. Yeah, I think you showed me this picture once before.
And I got up under it. It is all perfect.
That's sweet. That's super sweet.
Let me show you the front.
You know what? You're gonna have to do some while you got some Dr. Pepper going. You're gonna have to do some Dr. Pepper can bottoms for your Moonies, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'll do better than that. If I do that, I'll have to polish them. They'll be too big for what I'm doing. I'll have to do like a skinny Red Bull can or something.
Yep, probably.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, man, it's sharp, bro. So when I look at a body like that, you know what the first thing I think of?
I think of 54 Chevy.
No, I think it's going to be a nightmare to print, and you're going to use a shit ton of supports because of that body, like on the top, the hood, and the whole front end and everything. That's gonna take a lot of filament to do, even on a 10 scale, just because there's so much mass there. You know?
Yes, but it also depends how you slice it.
Well, and then there's gonna be a ton of sanding and filling on those fenders too, like we've dealt with the 54s.
Yeah, man, that's nothing new.
There's gonna be a lot of elbow grease on that bad boy.
There's nothing new there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know,
and a lot of times if I'm worried about filament, I'll slice it there on that hood line.
Yep.
And on the back too. And that way, when you're printing the tub, the front clip or the back, there's no roof.
Yep.
So it just prints it and it's done.
Yep.
So there's not really a lot of support there at all. The only support then is from there up.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you make it, if you do it that way, you make it where most of your sanding work's going to be on those top surfaces that are a little easier to work than little tiny narrow weird bottom or edges. But yeah, dude, that thing is gorgeous, dude.
But with what I just printed, you know, I'm trying now to do the angles, because you can, number one, eliminate supports because the printer is going to climb that angle anyways, and it doesn't need all the support. And you do it just right, and you'll get a little bit of sand work right at the base of the windshield, where the A-pillar comes in to the body. But other than that, most everything is all pretty nice because of it being on the angle. So those angles make the world of difference for sure.
Yeah, they do, because you can get away from that topography that you would get if you leave it oriented the way you're looking at it now.
Yep.
100%. And then on the
Yep.
roof too, you can save it.
Yep. Those headlights, I didn't notice that they protrude out of the fender like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. I mean, I wish he had a 54 Chevy, to be honest with you, instead. But he doesn't. This is what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's a knockoff of a 54 Chevy, bro. Or 54 Chevy's a knockoff of that, is what I should say. Because you said that's a 42, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
I mean, that's what a Bronco is. It
Yeah, I
borrows
mean-
from the Scout.
Bronco decided to respond to Scout, man. For sure.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Awesome.
All right, dudes, we're going to roll. We're out of here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. We'll 3 you later. Too good to be forgotten. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
See you, everybody.
Boom.